worried for Frank going back into the Championship, especially after you've been a Premier League manager, you've dealt with Premier League budgets, you've dealt with Premier League players. Going back down to the Championship, as Frank Lampard, who's only ever been a Premier League player and manager, apart from his stint at Derby, was a little bit worrying. But he's taken to it like a duck to water. He's been incredible there. He's turned things around. The feeling around the club is completely different. And Frank's first stint in the Championship, he relied heavily on his contacts at Chelsea, right? In terms of bringing in a Tomori, bringing in a Mason Mount, players that were too good for the Championship and helped Derby in terms of their promotion push. Unfortunately, they couldn't get promoted, but next season he ended up being Chelsea manager. This time around is different. He's come in halfway through his season. He's had to pick up a group that are on their knees, replacing a very, very popular manager in Mark Robins. And he's come in and he's done an amazing job. And I think if you're looking at the Championship right now, I think they are now favourites to make the playoffs, and you never know what happens when you get to that competition. So I'm really happy to see the job he's done.
It just makes me smile seeing Frank Lampard, and I like Quaker says, I was a little bit worried because I was just thinking maybe he's such a brilliant pundit, Frank Lampard, isn't he? Anytime I watch him on anything, I think he's so good at that, and I was thinking, is a manager, is that for him? And now we've seen him on the touchline at Stamford Bridge twice. Could it potentially be third time lucky?
Gosh.
No, I'm not talking about right now. I'm just saying, is there a world in which you would like to see Frank Lampard managing Chelsea once again?
I've seen it twice. I think going back to Frank, first time here, you're absolutely right. What he achieved that season, we had a transfer ban. We lost the best player in Eden Hazard, and he had to bring some of these younger players through, and they shone and they blossomed. And like you said, and a number of those players at Derby, and they clearly, looking up to Frank, I can only imagine what that must have been like for a young player coming to Chelsea's first team. The second time he took time to Chelsea, he was on a hiding to nothing.
He almost took that job out of just he felt like, I'm the only person that could probably do this because of my affiliation to the club.
And I think we've got to be grateful that Frank did it, but he was in a hiding to nothing. And even when he took over at Everton, we've seen that football club lurch and lurch. I mean, we've seen Sean Dyche move. Looks like they've got a little bit of stability now under David Moyes, who's obviously vastly experienced manager. I think Frank's found his feet in the right place here, because Coventry is a football club that have come so close over many years. Could have got to an FA Cup final just last year.
Should have.
Millimetres. Could have got promoted a couple of years. Mark Robins done a great job. But he's come in, and there's a crest of a wave. I follow him on social media now. They're loving Frank there at the moment. He has got them in a position where they've snuck him up in on the inside rails. Now, if they get themselves, they won't go up automatically. That's too far. The sides above them, Sheffield United, Leeds, Burnley, they're just too far ahead. But get yourself in those playoff places, and you never know.
Yeah.
It's great to see, and where Chelsea are right now in terms of the positive position we're at financially is a massive part down to Jody Morris and Frank Lampard. Think about the money that we've got for Mason Mount. Think about the money that we've got for Tammy Abraham and for Kaya Tomori. That was off the back of the work that Frank did, and for ages we were crying out for a manager to use the Cobham Cubs, to use the youth, and he was the first manager to do it. And I know we only finished fourth that season, got to an FA Cup final and lost, but for me, I always say that's one of my top 3 favourite Chelsea seasons of all time. 04-05, Jose's first year favourite. Obviously, 11-12, Munich, that's my second favourite. And that 19-20 season under Frank, where the fields were amazing, it felt incredible. Unfortunately, COVID curtailed that season, and after that, we weren't really the same side. But the job he did there, the job he's doing at Coventry, he's a footballing man. And it's very easy for Frank Lampard to maybe, after things didn't go well at Chelsea the second time, and Everton, to maybe go and take a punditry job or maybe just duck out of the limelight. But he's gone and taken a job in the Championship, and he's doing very, very well.
Yeah, fair play to him. I mean, 2021's got to be up there as well, Quakey. Is that top 4, 2021? Has to be.
Do you know what? 2020, yeah, but 2021...
Lampard was still in charge, 2021.
Havertz plays for Arsenal. Mason Mount plays for Manchester United. Timo Werner plays for Spurs. Unfortunately, a lot of those players...
But do you not think it makes it better that they've all gone to do what they've done, and we managed to win a Champions League with them?
I think go to 2021, even though I was there in 2012. So.
I just throw 2010 in.
Yeah.
Oh, that was amazing.
9-10.
That season.
We were winning 8-0 every game.
Honestly, that was so much fun.
Oh, that was great. I remember 8-0 on the last day, wasn't it?
Yeah.
Against Wigan. Ashley Cole scored. Remember Ashley Cole scoring as well? OK, now we've got to get back to the...
how bad it's got. We're now talking about old seasons.
Take me back to my best ever season. We've only got a few minutes left, so let's look ahead to the Villa game on the weekend. Jace, how do we get a win in this game?
Look, we went there last year. We knocked them out the FA Cup. We drew 2-2.
Brilliant.
We've already beaten them at home this season. Villa are a funny side. You don't quite know what you're going to get, but what you do know is that they've got a manager that knows how to get results, and they stuttered a little bit. You know, they're way down where I think a lot of Villa fans expected them to be. Okay, they've had Champions League football.
I think that's balancing it is hard.
Yes, no, this is a dangerous game for us. Really dangerous. They've got a number of top class players in and around that squad. We've got to go there and make ourselves hard to play against. And at the moment, we're too easy. That's my concern. That Villa, I don't know whether you saw the game that they played against West Ham a couple of weeks ago. West Ham got a draw out of it.
Should have won.
Right?
West Ham.
West Ham. But the early exchanges of that game, Villa were all over them.
Yeah.
Could have gone 2 or 3 up. If they do, the game's dead. In the end, West Ham come back into the game and grew into it. So this is a Villa side that have got quality all the way through. They've got goals in them, but they've got to go back that way as well. I'm going to go for a 1-1 or 2-2. I think this feels like a draw for me.
Both teams to score. I mean, Marcus Rashford, I feel like he loves a goal against Chelsea as well. It would be so typical Marcus Rashford to start his first game for Villa. I know he's come off the bench a couple of times, and he could cause us problems because he is the sort of player that over the years has caused us problems because of the way he plays. Is Mitoma, that sort of quick winger, like going to run in behind, like
Semenyo. For Bournemouth, yeah.
Those players we really struggle against.
Yeah, no, you're right. We should. Now I'm thinking about it, and where Jay said we need 7 points out of those 3. I think he's right because Villa have got Liverpool on Wednesday. So we talk about Villa off the back of playing European fixtures. That's basically like playing European fixture. And Villa's record off the back of European fixtures is very, very poor. They play against the best team in the league midweek. We've had a week to prepare, even longer than a week to prepare because we played on Friday. We should go and get something at Villa Park. And if we don't, and we play poorly, I've mentioned it before, the fans have already started to turn, it will turn even more. Because this is a Villa team, like you mentioned, inconsistent. Not the same Villa from last season. We've already beaten them this year. We actually need to go to Villa Park and get at least a point.
When you looked at these 2 performances, Jace, you're saying, you know, we need to do something different, we need to be hard to play against. What can Enzo Maresca do? What does he need to do for this game against Villa?
Well, the first thing he's got to do is find who's playing up top because that position has become a major, major issue. And Nkunku clearly isn't comfortable up there. He's got to come up with a plan because actually Cole Palmer and him, we played a bit of a 4-4-2 kind of weird thing at the weekend as well. Yeah. Yes, I know that we had Enzo in, but it was a 4-2-3-1, but it was a 4-2-2 wide men and 2 down the middle.
It was a 4-2-2-0 because we had no threat up there.
But he's got to come up with a plan, and there's a number of options. I wonder whether playing Neto down the middle might be something you think about because the pacing behind Neto's hold-up play, you know, he's not a natural number 9, but we need to threaten him behind. And we did the early 10 minutes of that game, 15 minutes. I felt we looked a little bit more dangerous. Then it dried up completely. He's got to come up with a plan. That, for me, there. Move the ball quickly. That's always been a feature of us. Move the ball quickly. And can we defensively stay a bit more solid and don't go, because we were all over the place for at least 2 of their goals at the weekend.
On AM, on DAB, via the talkSPORT app and on your smart speaker. talkSPORT.